welcome to this live Thursday Kriegspiel game. We are doing the invasion of Cuba, and right now we are with the CIA slash US slash rebels of Brigade
Allegedly.
allegedly 2506. Um, all right, so I know you're all together at the moment. What are your starting orders?
Okay, so yeah, we have deployed First Brigade or Battalion, and Second Battalion to what we labeled Cortez Beach outside of Gavianes here, south of Cienfuegos. Is that kind of what you're looking for, or
Uh, do they have an assigned transport ship or just whichever?
they have been assigned the Barbara?
Okay, so is Brio commanding both the first and the second on the Barbara?
Yes, we lost both of our potential Second Battalion commanders, so
Oh, I
they've been
thought
given
the
to
second
Brio.
battalion was going with me to San Pedro.
No, no longer. To even out the two landings and everything.
So we're just doing 2 landings now.
Well,
If you did need another player, I know someone that wants it in this game.
the two main landings. I mean, it's up to James at this point, but
I'd rather keep it where it's at right now.
yeah,
Okay, so
for even distribution of infantry on both sides of the thing, we're going to give him second because we need to have enough around Trinidad. Make sense?
I'm looking
Cool.
for Playa Cortez.
Wait, so I'm trying to set up my board as well. Which boat did you send with the first brigade?
Barbara.
Barbara. Okay. Yeah, actually, James, would he be allowed to just like take screenshots of each of the deployments so I can like set it up without slowing down his orders to you?
Can he?
Yeah, like just take a screenshot of our initial deployment and put it in like the planning channel so I can like set up
With the
my
units together.
so I can like set up my initial board.
Yes.
Like that.
I think if I understand the question right.
I think he wants
Yeah.
all the units, like the order of battle deployment, like
Yeah, just our initial deployment. Yeah, so I can like set up
like
my
where they are on the
in the
map
first
when
turn.
you
Yeah.
sync them up. Okay.
Do you not have that from your planning channel? Or I'm confused.
Oh, we just have the drawings. Like I don't have like the specific names for which units are where.
Yeah, I only
which
just got like the
unit are
pieces and everything, so we didn't actually set like the orders of battle, like location and everything.
Okay.
like we had like the vague plan.
So first is going to on the Barbara is going to Cortez. Okay. And then what's next?
And then the third aboard the Houston is going to Trinidad. The land basically like west of Trinidad.
Trinidad. Oh, I see it. Okay. To the west of Trinidad.
Correct.
Okay.
Third battalion in Houston. And then Pepe Roman with his artillery under his command, 4th Armored and 5th Logistic are aboard the Blagger and the Zapoata, and they're landing to the northeast at Pizarro at Kaibarian.
Okay.
We have the LCIs up there too.
LCIs as well. Okay.
And then, how are we handling communicating to you like the paratrooper landing? I assume they're using the C-46s or no?
Yeah, they use the C-46s.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have the C-46s landing as safe as they can outside the Santa Clara airport. Or not landing. We have them dropping the paratroopers with Marty obviously aboard.
Okay. And where were
Else the Santa Clara.
where were your frogmen going?
And the frogmen are to go. I don't know if you can see my screen, but basically like south of Gavianes, where Cortez and First Brigade or Battalion Brigade. First is there's a bridge there, and they're starting there, basically as close as they can to that.
And then the false flotilla, was that being used?
Yes, that is to the west of Havana. Way over there is like a Mariel Sinas or something like that, and they are aimed there.
Okay. All right. And then
And then
you've got your bomber planes. Are they attacking anywhere?
I believe that is a question for Burke. I want them. Oh, good. Yeah.
I was like, do we have any intel on where their air force is stationed, or is that unknown by the CIA?
Was that place? Yeah, it is known. Did they place their Air Force Nero? Is Nero here? Where's Nero?
The fighter
Yeah,
specifically.
Nero. You're muted, Nero. I'm looking for the planes. Nero, you're muted. We need you.
Sorry, I was just going to the bathroom.
Unacceptable. Just kidding.
I thought I'd do it before things actually get underway.
Were the airplanes placed on the Cuban side?
If it is not pasted here, then no, they were not.
The fighter and bomber wing are here.
Okay. Will you go find out? They got moved. Oh, I lost because I named them and then I lost that. Will someone name them again?
What are their names?
Oh, James, if it
What's the fighter name called?
It's in the info channel for Cuba.
Okay.
Do you want me to go ask the Cubans where they want them?
Yeah, go ask the Cubans where they want their
Okay.
different planes.
I will not stream this time for them because information.
You still have to get my orders through, like armored division.
Well, you're landing at Karab, whatever, Kabarian.
Yeah, we're not giving orders. He was just asking about our deployment.
Yeah, we're doing deployment now. So the bombers, we'll figure out where they are and then we'll tell you. The
well, I mean, if it. Good.
Oh, sorry, the carrier group. Where should that be?
The carrier group is as close to Trinidad as it can be allowed by Kennedy. So, like south of there, but as close as possible.
And then
So like right across the 1,000 like mile mark or meter mark.
Precisely.
And then the in terms of timing, is this all simultaneous or is one part supposed to be happening before another?
The bombing is to happen prior, as it was planned historically. And
Can we put the jets down?
Again?
The jets. The two T-33 jets.
Where do you put those?
I see the Sea Furies and I see the B-26s. But I don't see.
There should be 4
There's
C
3 air wings for the.
4 B-26s
Yeah.
and 2 T-33s.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus
so
Christ.
there's cards for the fighters, for the Sea Furies and for the B-26s, but I don't see the third card unless it was already placed on the map somewhere.
You just make a copy.
Okay.
Call that the T.
They're classified as fighters, right?
Yeah. Sorry. So bombing first, then what? Flotilla, then frog.
And flotilla, then frogman, then landing.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, if it helps, I just want the bombers to bomb their fighters on the ground, whatever, or attempt to. Yeah, wherever they're at. So,
okay.
Regardless of where they're at, I want to try to catch their fighters on the ground in their airfields.
Okay. All right, we'll start with that, and then probably next time we come back, all the landing groups will be separated to your individual channels. But for now, you can hang out.
Oh, one minor change. I just realized can we just have the frogmen land like with the rest of the troops? There's no need to have them land any earlier.
Sure.
Thank you.
I placed the planes where they desired them to be, but they had a couple questions. The first question would be in terms of militia, because they placed 2 of their fighter units down on the island de la Geminetto, or however you pronounce it. They wanted to ask if the militia were going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Where did
Second of all, they wanted to ask a little bit about the plane rules. Do they have to worry about range or stuff like that, or can they just basically do whatever they want every turn in terms of just orders, just kind of like how artillery was during the World War One game?
Yeah, basically they'll order a mission each turn, whether it's attacking a specific target or defending a certain airspace.
Okay, super simple then. Okay, cool. I'll go relay that.
And do you know where the militia pieces went?
Those are the less trained troops.
Yeah,
militia.
I had 2 placeholder pieces for them, but I think they got lost. That's all right.
There's one militia there.
Where?
Up here it says militia at the very end.
Okay. Oh, good. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, they'll kind of just be at any town or city. There's going to be a bunch of those, but we'll go from there. Okay. All right. So they're going to bomb first. We need to roll for that. Now, historically, the bombings were supposed to take out the planes, but did not. I don't know if it did very much damage at all. It kind of seemed like it didn't. But
Yeah.
So let's roll. Let's say if 5 is some damage, a 6 is pretty devastating, but otherwise not much. Actually, I don't even know. Well, I guess they'd know it was on Nueva Gerona. So okay, 5 is some, 6 is not much. 1, okay. Mostly didn't do anything. All right.
Yeah.
So now let's see. Are all the planes just at Nueva Gerona? Oh, and then it.
Just the
Except for
bombers
the
are up here.
bombers. Yeah.
So let's go report that to the Cubans. Let's report that and the flotilla, and then we'll see how they respond.
They had another question for militia. What are the conditions for the militia to pop up?
Well, let's go down there and we'll answer that question.
Go.
It'll be on a few minutes late.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. So to answer your militia question, they're already on high alert because you've been expecting an invasion, having been tipped off from the Russians. But basically, they will pop up. They're at every major population center, so they'll kind of just pop up and resist any invasions where they occur.
Okay.
So like a Minutemen sort of situation.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And we get to command them, right?
Yeah,
we
you
get to give
can.
them orders.
Once one of you show up, you can start issuing commands to them and organizing them. So yesterday, what's today? 16th? Oh, I forgot to type in your channels.
Am I allowed to continue sharing my screen, James, while we're all together, or no?
Who just asked that? Yeah, you.
Fidel.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, I don't have TTS currently, so I sort of need.
Anyway, on the 16th, several of your airfields were bombed, specifically at Nueva Gerona and Varadero by rebel what planes were those? B-26 invaders.
B-26 invaders.
Fortunately, damage was overall very minimal. Your planes are intact. But early on the morning of the 17th, or actually in the night of the 16th, early morning 17th, you're hearing, you get news of radio chatter from the west of Havana, somewhere near the Mariel CNAS airfield.
Yep, I see it.
And that's all that's being reported so far.
What station was it?
I don't know. I can't even make up something.
Some frequency that's
Psycho
not a
investigate.
radio station.
99.9 the
CIA radio.
Smooth jazz.
Okay then.
Smooth jazz.
CIA just love their smooth jazz.
Diabolical fucking capitalists and their Kenny G.
So here's what so that's all the intelligence that you can give us at this moment.
That's all you got so far.
I
Okay.
wish we had more intelligence.
So then we're kind of going to go with our one plan. Che, you're going to go west and you're going to take command of the troops that are lining the western side. Be sure to, on your journey, stick to the southern side of the island. Once you're there...
I mean east.
To the western
No,
side.
he means south, not going near Mariel Sanas. I think he's trying to be like, hey, don't drive through where there's possible rebel activity.
Right.
If I can make a suggestion, Fidel, I think I should just pull my forces back to there.
Yeah, shouldn't he attack it? Shouldn't he investigate?
No. We don't know if it's an attack. We just heard a radio signal.
Hold on, let me finish up here.
Umpires, are you looking for orders?
We are.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Che, you're going to go west. You're going to take 2 of your northern units. You're going to go investigate that radio chatter. Who do we have? Bob, you're going to take 1 unit of motorized troops and actually take 2 units of motorized troops, head in that direction from Havana, and make haste to get there.
Are you going to
report back what you guys see.
My command is motorized and tanks?
Yes, but you're just taking 2 units for right now. Let's see what we're up against first before we do an overcommitment. It could just be a false flag operation.
Okay.
They're turning the friggin' frogs gay. Yeah, I'll radio my 2 units in the north and tell them to meet me at Mariel Sanas, and I'm just going to drive there from Havana.
Sticking to the south side of the island.
I'm going to stay on this like double highway right here on Havana and wait until I meet up with my guys.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you. I'm meeting them in the middle. This is faster.
Okay.
So,
who was taking the motorized units?
Effigenio. We just call him Bob.
Oh, okay.
Effigenio?
You're taking
You know me, James, don't you?
I know you.
Don't you?
I know him as Bob's the Builder.
We are also waiting, I believe, for 1 more of our commanders.
Yeah, I don't think he's showing up.
No. And one last thing is that the fighters are to do reconnaissance over that area.
Should we redistribute his command, or what do you want?
Let's see what we're up against first. I'm wondering if, like we agreed last time, we're not sure if there's going to be follow-up invasions or not.
Yeah, sounds good. And it wouldn't be a terrible idea to hold back the air until a little later.
I want to get the fighters on top to do some area reconnaissance.
You wanted both your fighter units or just 1?
Let's just do the propeller planes, the Seahawks. We'll keep those jets in reserve for right now.
Alright, umpires, let's go back to the umpire channel.
That was an okay question to ask, right?
Yeah, that was a good question.
Okay, cool.
Alright. Let's see. So, are there any reefs on the south landing? It doesn't look like it. The north. Okay. So let's have these.
I mean, north looks kind of rough because of all the island there.
Yeah,
All these dotted paths and stuff like that. I think those might be coral reefs. These.
I think the coral reefs are the blue grids like this.
Oh, okay.
And these are like
so are these like sandbars?
Like sandbar islands. Like this one. Look at this one's like got marshlands on it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I don't know what these dots are. This also might be coral here. Let me actually pull this up on Google Maps real quick and see what it looks like IRL.
Sail means key. So yeah, it's like sand.
Yeah, so
what are they called?
Actually, no, let's not roll. Let's just give it. We're gonna say they're having difficulty landing. Let's see what would be fun. They're kind of landing at a busy place. They got less trained troops there already.
The dots here are mangroves.
Okay.
Mm.
I definitely would be avoiding those. Let's say that this landing is getting hung up on coral and mangroves, and that they can see troops on the shore. I guess these would be night landings, wouldn't they? But they could still see them. The southern ones are a bit more successful. The 2nd Battalion, they can only land 1 battalion at a time, so that transport ship's going to have to come back and pick them up. That's going to take a while. Alright, so we need to separate Duque and Pipo can stay together. Diaz and Brio need to be separate. So let's do that real fast.
Should Che and them be separated
Yeah,
or
go
no?
ahead and separate them as well. So let's see, Pipo. Oh,
Brio.
Pipo, where's Brio? Pipo,
Brio.
Duque, and then Diaz is separate. And Brio. Where's Marty?
He's muted right now, but he's in voice channel 1.
No, I mean his.
Oh, do you mean on the map?
His icon. Did I not make one for him?
No, you have one for him. He's by the airborne. Right
yeah,
there.
he's
the
airdropped
airborne
here.
He's his own. Yep. Okay.
So he should be in his own channel 2, voice channel 5. Oh, you got him.
All right, now let's assign people. Does anyone have any preferences for who they have?
I'm up for whatever.
Whatever you need us to do.
All right.
I've been working with the Cubans already, so that'd be my preference.
Yeah, we'll give Nero. You'll take all the Cubans for now. That works.
Okay. Yep.
Kyle Strix, you get the South 2.
Okay. So I get Brio and Diaz.
Yep. And then Tasty. Well, we'll take these 2, and when they split off, we can split it between them.
Okay. And
do you want me to do the paratroopers or?
Oh yeah, we'll take them too. I'll do the paratroopers, and then here we'll do it this way. This will make it easier. Tasty will have this invasion force. Actually, why don't you do the paratroopers?
Okay.
Tasty, and then I'll do that, and we gotta erase that all because we're about to do screenshots. But
what kind of like restrictions do they have on movement? Like how far can I move them in one turn?
so we're doing so it's 6 hours per turn. If they're walking, the general rule is like you can go
per day, so that'd be 3.33 miles.
And about 3 miles per turn. But if they're going over rough terrain or bad roads or anything, it'd be slower. Not 3 miles per turn. 3 miles per hour.
And do these troops here have vehicles that landed on the South Beach? They look like light infantry.
No, they don't. There's tanks in the north one, but they basically are all on foot. I don't know.
So 3 miles per hour?
Per hour, yeah. If they're just walking.
Okay.
Down a road. So it would be for 6 hours, 18, 20-ish, 15 to 20 miles. And I set the grid, so it's set on miles now. So 10 is 10 miles. 1 grid is 1 mile.
18 miles per turn, good terrain.
But
then you set the grid.
Yeah. So the grid, okay, so going across 1 grid is 10 miles. Got it.
They're just barely, they just landed. It's going to take a while to consolidate. They're offloading supplies. So, yeah, just keep that in mind.
All right, and these guys on the South Beach, they had a smooth landing. So I basically am going to tell them they had a smooth landing, but that the 2nd Battalion, Brio's 2nd Battalion, still needs to be picked up and brought onto the beach.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. All right.
Then for the paratroopers, it's just give them a photo of their surroundings.
They're landed. Yep. So just give them a small, probably like 3 mile. So, yeah, not much.
Sorry, one second. My dog's barking weird.
So motorized can go 13 miles per hour then. So 13 times 6. So they can go 78 miles per turn.
Yeah, probably even faster, but
that's lowballing a little bit. I can do the exact calculation.
If it's a really good road, I'd you know, a car can go down
Bump it up.
40, 50 miles an hour. So yeah, with some load time and unexpected delays, but still.
Yep.
All right, let's go. Oh, let's do screenshots.
All right, I'm back.
And then.
How far should they be able to see? I guess the mountains in the way would probably block the view. So
Yeah, they wouldn't
answers my
see.
question.
Roughly 3 miles radius.
And Control Shift S is the screenshot button, right?
I think so. I used a tool that I just click on.
Oh. It's Windows Shift S, actually, it looks like.
The Cubans wanted to ask about radio communication.
So they can talk with each other by typing in the planning channel. Alright, I'm gonna go get orders. Alright, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello.
Alright, so you guys are you're probably all actually on different ships, but for convenience, you can talk together. So you sailed from Nicaragua yesterday, went wide around the island of Cuba, and are now coming in on the north side, passing through some barrier islands on the north. You ran into some trouble as you came in with several of the smaller landing craft hitting some coral, as well as running into some mangrove forest, which is hard to see in the darkness. But other than that, it's going well. But as you approach the beaches near Kaiberien, you can see that they are occupied by Cuban soldiers. Not even the militia, but part of the regular army. They may not have noticed you yet, but do you still want to land, even if it's potentially opposed?
What would our other options be for a landing?
I mean, you could sail further west or east along the coast to find another landing point.
And if we don't land at a port, right, what would the penalties for that be?
Well, you need an airfield at some point to help land supplies. And I mean, you need a good beach somewhere to also land supplies. Don't necessarily have to be a port.
Okay, and we're able to talk freely in the planning channel, right?
Yeah, you've got radio communications there.
What would you like me to do with my tanks? Would you like me to, like, if we're going to go at that last train unit, should I throw in my tanks immediately, or?
I mean, in my opinion, we should assault it because we need to rely on the supplies anyways. If we are going to move west or east, we are going to lose that.
So we should strike now?
Yeah.
Can we give our orders after you make your other reports?
You guys are all I got, but you can talk for a minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'd like to hear back from you guys before I make decisions.
Do you mind if I talk to you in a separate channel, James?
Sure, let's hop down by.
Am I responsible for the screenshots? Because I haven't got any instruction for that.
Yes. Well, yes.
Okay.
So you should only Almajeras and Guevara, and they can get the same screenshot.
Yep.
Which I wouldn't even show the flotilla. Maybe the Sea Furies would see it, but they wouldn't see it from the land at all.
So the Sea Furies, so they wouldn't get an actual visual, they would get a verbal report back from the Sea Furies.
Yeah, and
there is a flotilla.
Basically report that they see a ship off the coast, and that's it.
Okay. Ship off coast. Off coast. And then in terms of how do you usually draw it off? Do you use snipping tool?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you want me to handle this, but Brio was under the impression that the frogmen between the Barbara and the Houston were under Diaz's command, and Diaz says they're not under his command. So I don't know whose command they're under.
Well, then they don't know who they're under either. But they had orders to take out this bridge, I think, or maybe this one.
Okay.
One of the bridges. So they can still do their orders,
Okay.
but
Oh, I got timed out.
They can figure it out by radio.
Okay. Do we? Do you roll on if they took out the bridge, or how do you want to?
We will do that once we've. Yes. When we get back together next, we'll make rolls for that.
Okay.
So the paratroopers, the only order that I was given from them is to secure the Santa Clara Air Base and set up a perimeter there. Is there anything I need to put on the map to indicate that, or?
No, it's secured.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm still getting back into the thing to take the screenshots.
And is it enough time for the barber to go pick up 2nd Battalion and drop them off the beach?
No, that's going to be like 3 or 4 turns later.
Okay, so the barber's moving back to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Should the Houston stay? I mean, I guess he didn't tell me what he wanted, but should the Houston stay at the beach?
Yeah, or nearby, if they didn't say.
Okay. Have it sit just off the coast.
Start.
Okay, I got Guevara's one. And Guevara is with that name, however the hell you pronounce that.
That's a hard name. On my.
And this is a morning turn?
Yeah, so the landings were at night. It's now morning.
Oh, 600?
Oh, 600. Okay, but I still, sorry. I gotta get my orders from my group still. They were deciding. Alright, need orders.
All right. We're gonna land directly to the northwest. Would we be able to like land at a post at like that red line leading to Smokestack, and then we could just like bypass and cut them off? And
Yeah.
Fabian. All right. Once we land, I'd like to immediately set up the artillery to start shelling the airfield there, to make sure that like, because if you shell the runway, planes can't take off. And then focusing on the unit there to keep them suppressed. Peepo, I want you to take the tanks and start scouting to the west. Don't engage anything on your way to Santa Clara. Just make sure, like, see what's out there, and come back if you see any enemies, so we can stay grouped together. Duke, I'd like you to stay here with me with the artillery and prevent the less trained army here from, sallying out. You're gonna keep them pinned.
So if I see a lot of enemies, I just run back to you, okay, right?
If you see any enemies, don't like engage anything. Just hit. You're by yourself. I think we only have like 4 tanks, right, James?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just a single tank company. You're not like an armored division. You're basically a scouting force, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Or a support element for our other companies.
Okay,
Got it.
Thank you.
Hi, James.
Hello. So, where'd my dice go? Let's see, militia are less trained. Start.
God damn it. Why is this? Windows Shift S. Why are the screenshots I'm taking not fucking popping up on my computer?
Alright, so Diaz is running the militia outside Trinidad, which are putting up a little
And
resistance.
you want Marty to do the same in the airport? You want me to roll for those?
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Okay. So I roll once for.
Roll for each side to attack.
Okay.
Sorry, my snipping tool for taking screenshots was working, and now it's not after I took one. And freeform snip, there we go.
Where'd Nero go? What's Nero doing? I'm gonna go see what's holding up Nero.
Yeah.
The island to our south, would they have been able to see like everything beneath them on their way to like where they saw this fleet north of us?
That would be a safe assumption. Between their base and where they currently are positioned, they'd probably see everything, yeah. Excluding jungle cover and so on and so forth.
All right. I am going to move our forces here more inland and have them take cover to protect from naval bombardment. I'm going to bring my forces that are on the south side of this mountain range. I want them to start moving inward, like towards where my location is. And then the artillery that I have on that mountainside should move so that it can, bombard this like bay area, but not necessarily bombard it yet.
Yeah, I shall also move just a little bit inland to be out of range of naval bombardment, hopefully as well.
I'm gonna move, personally.
Hey, I completely forgot about the Americans. Will you take them as well, Cools?
Sure.
Burke and Hawkins. Just so there's not much
there...
to report. They're going to get mostly from radio, but let them know that their flotilla spotted the Sea Furies flying recon overhead.
Okay.
I think that's about it. I don't know if there's much else they can order at this point, but.
All right, I will let them know.
Thank you.
I have I thought I had an artillery unit on the mountain. That's with my forces over here. Is that not given to me?
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Yes, sir.
I apologize for the delay, James. It took me a minute to do the screenshot. The next one's will be quicker.
Yeah, no worries.
So, just double checking. You personally want to move a bit closer to Havana, and you want the infantry units to move south inland a bit to avoid naval bombardment. Correct?
The units I have here around the Sanas, however you pronounce it, just to back up a little south.
Chad, very quickly. I'm giving you command of my troops. My 2 motorized. I am ordered to return to Havana to help bring in more reinforcements.
Okay,
Yes, sir. And then have my troops that are to my southwest move towards this area, and like they can stop at around like on the road south of Kayabu, NDB, whatever that is. It's like right at the west or eastern end of this mountain range. Little blue square looking thing.
Meaning that you have a command of my motorized if you want.
Why don't we make this easier and you just stream your tabletop sim?
Sounds good.
Because there's a lot of names here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So any troops that I have like over here,
yes,
they can move here, like move up this road.
Okay.
And then the troops right here just move like back a little.
Okay. And where'd you want your artillery?
The artillery, I think, is somewhere over here, and just as long as like this, they're kind of in range here.
You
I
want
think
them to
this
be in
should
range of okay. Yep.
Yeah, I'd like them to be able to bombard this beach.
And you move a bit closer to Havana, and then if Bob heads back to Havana.
Like
I'm
honestly,
just gonna call you
this,
Bob for
Head back
this.
to Havana.
this
Yeah,
hill might
okay,
give
cool.
me a little bit more vision, which I'd like.
Okay, cool. That's everything for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And I'm okay, cool. Oh, he's gonna kick me again.
Hope not.
I am frozen.
That's not good.
Oh, no, I'm good. Okay, so in terms of calculating that, he wanted his troops to move inland more. So 4 miles, 3 miles per hour. So, in terms of how I would interpret that, they would move down towards this road here.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? He wants to be placed on this hilltop here. Not that person. Guevara to be. And Bob is to return to Havana. Since he got out here, he'd be able to get fully back this turn. The train troops also do the same thing, move a bit away from it to avoid naval bombardment. The train troops down here, how fast can they? How far can they go? Because there is. Oh no! Oops.
So I got
18-ish. Well, they gotta get off the mountain first.
Yeah, they're 2 miles away off the road. So get down.
To get to the road.
And then 10 miles, and they can go about 18 per turn. Would you say that being off road halves their movement?
Yeah.
Or worse. So they would consume what, about 5 miles instead of 2 miles of their movement then. Yep. So they'd still be able to get to where he wanted. Approximately. Yeah. So they'd be able to get down here. And the artillery, what is the range for artillery in this? Or is that they are not going to be able to hit where he wants this turn at all. Okay, he wants them to move this direction, so they are
through the mountain. Well, I guess they get to that road, and then these are like rough mountain roads. I just barely.
Yeah, these are rough mountain roads. So 2 miles or 2.5 miles plus about 2 miles at least that they did there. So 5 and artillery. Do they have a slower movement than?
They probably would.
Yeah, especially towed. Well, they're towed, so it shouldn't be too bad. Come to think of it,
faster than infantry, honestly, if it's towed.
Yeah, that's true.
Faster than walking, yeah, true. So 5, 10. So they've gone 10 already miles of consumption. So they could probably do a little bit more. At least in our 5 miles, probably. So can they get? Their main objective was to get within bombardment of this area.
Sure. Well, yeah, that's fine.
Which I think is they're barely able to do. Would they be ready to fire this turn though?
Well, it really doesn't matter because there's nothing coming. So.
Yeah, but in case they give the order, and it's more for me learning the rules.
Yeah. They could start firing the following turn.
Okay.
All right. So we're missing.
Diaz wants to conduct a fighting retreat with the 3rd Battalion.
Oh, you're ahead of me.
Oh, sorry. That was the order for the order that he just gave me.
Because there's a lot of delays, so I think you already did the next turn.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I just did the 0600 turn.
Yeah, so
that's what we're doing.
0600
okay.
Now.
Yeah, so he gave the orders to conduct a fighting retreat at 0600.
Okay. Yeah, so that's fine.
I have a few questions, James.
Yeah.
Or go ahead.
Go for it. He also wanted both his bombers and his Sea Furies to attack the flotilla.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's just.
I got.
So he did say he wanted the Sea Furies to return to base first and then go out. I assume they can just do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's just if they get caught, the ship's probably dead from the Sea Furies. I'm just thinking.
Well, it's a flotilla, so it's multiple ships.
Yeah. We'll do partial. It did its job. We'll let it. Where'd my fire go? We'll say they sunk a few and the rest got away.
Sure.
Right. So now it is 0600. So we're giving 0600 screenshots if you haven't already, and then getting orders.
Oh, I just gave those 600 screen. Oh, these were the night screenshots. Okay, I'll go relabel them. My bad.
That's fine. I wasn't.
So it'd be 1800 or.
It was midnight.
Midnight. Okay.
00.
00. Okay.
And then now it's 0600.
So yeah, I had two questions from the orders, but I need my questions answered to know how to address them. So the Americans, the CIA, wanted to bomb the airfields again with their bombers. They said to attack the same ones that were attacked the night prior, even if there's no one there, just to damage the actual airfields.
Nueva Gerona and Varadero, right?
Yeah.
I guess we can do that. They're flying back and forth from Nicaragua, so they can only do like a mission a day. But we're saying that they did their other mission yesterday, so I'm guessing
yesterday. Yep.
We can say bombing that airfield and this one Varadero. So Nero, they would be getting lots of mixed reports of landings at Kyberin and, well, basically where the landings actually are. So you can kind of give that.
Yep.
What else would there be? You may want to add some additional info. Oh, like the paratroopers as well. Like there's troops in Santa Clara, but maybe add, because there'd be some confusion. So maybe add extra ghost troops at some other points. And then the bombings at airfields.
And bombings at airfields.
Yep. Is there a question?
I wanted to. Yeah, so they also said that the CIA wanted the bombers to land at Santa Clara instead of going back to Nicaragua after this bombing.
Okay.
Don't know if that would be
so
compromising.
let's see. Did they defeated the militia there? Yeah, okay. So they're holding.
Yeah, they pushed them back. Yep. That's the other part to ask, because I asked Marty what his next orders would be, and he said he wanted to split his paratroopers up, so keep an element in Santa Clara to keep it, and then another element to take the city. How would I do that on the map? Just put another piece.
So make a copy of it, split it. Yeah, just do that, and then maybe make them a little bit smaller.
Okay.
I can't remember how many companies there are. I think there's 4 or 5, so they can split up with different missions. And the artillery here would actually, I think they'd be bombarding.
Yeah, the beachhead.
Yeah, so
I was thinking that too. For sure they are.
Let Diaz know that he's under artillery fire already, and these guys will probably be coming down the mountain in response.
Would these motorized doing that too? The trained motorized over here by the paratroopers?
There's some artillery fire. Sorry, where?
By the paratroopers, there's a group of trained motorized infantry.
Yeah, they'd be coming to react this next turn.
Okay.
Screenshots.
He says nothing changes to his orders to fall back, conduct a fighting retreat.
Okay, got it.
The frogmen, did they blow up the bridge, or are they doing anything?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother rolling. It's blown.
I forgot one thing that I'm calculating right now, and that's Fernandez was supposed to move to Santa Clara. Santa Clara?
Santa Clara?
Yeah. How far can one of their staff units move per turn, roughly?
As a motorized, some kind of dedicated car. Where's he going?
Santa Clara.
Santa Clara, where the paratroopers are here.
Oh, let's see.
Yep.
I guess if he's going 40 miles an hour.
I assume he'd go down this main highway because it goes to pretty close to Santa Clara.
135 miles. So yeah, he'd get. We can put him near the outskirts, or I guess in the town because they're still fighting there.
Okay. Do I have the ability to move people?
Yes.
There we go. Yeah, I can do that. Cool. I'll give them this proper screenshot.
Okay, I'm gonna go get my orders. All right, gentlemen. So you have successfully landed all your units. Your supplies are in the process of being landed as well. The armored is pushed out a little bit down the road towards the main road southwest of Kyberian, and militia is starting to form up outside the Remedios and Kyberian. And that's it.
Are we able to retreat west, or would we have to break out?
Retreat west. You can move west, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'd like to just head as fast as we can towards Santa Clara.
Okay, without on the road or like cross country?
On the road.
Okay. Well, right now there's militia blocking the road and your access to it, so you'd have to go through them.
I mean,
Okay, in that case, I'd like to shell them, and the fifth, I guess, logistics company we have here, with the scrape at the bottom of the barrel here, and the fourth armored are going to brush aside the militia and secure an opening for us to move to the west.
Yep. Me and Duque.
Okay, Pepe, you're gonna stay here. Or are you going with them?
Oh no, we're all going west. Yeah, yeah. I'd like to stay here alone, please, with the militia.
I don't know. Okay. Got it.
Oh, also, is the runway disabled? Would I be able to know that? Like, are they able to fly missions from here?
The runway here?
Yeah.
It's not disabled, but it's occupied by the enemy.
So shelling it didn't have much of an effect.
Oh, I forgot about those orders. I'm sorry. Your artillery just barely got on the beach though, so they haven't had a chance to.
All right. Well, I mean, it's a bit too late now to try and shell them because we're trying to break out the west. But I mean, mortars. I mean, actually, no, mortars are pretty easy to set up and pack back up. So I guess if we have a chance, I would like to try and shell the runway still.
Okay. I think the Cubans are a lot. I might give one of you some of the Cubans. Actually, I know who. Cools. I'm gonna give you Fernandez once Nero's back, since they're facing each other. You guys, it'll be easier that way. Let's see. So Diaz is falling back. How far do you want to?
Yeah, conducting a fighting retreat. He said.
To where?
He just said fall back.
Well, okay.
And unfortunately, the frogmen blew the bridge, which was a big mistake in my opinion to split the bridge between the two landings. But yeah,
I don't know. Okay.
I don't know what the plan was there. It was a bad bridge to blow, but
I don't know
not my call to make.
They separated themselves to start off with. Anyway, 5 with artillery bombardment is a 6. That's only -1. Would the militia pursue them?
How about these trained guys dug in on the hill up
yeah,
here?
That's their. Let's see, let's roll for them. 2, no impact. So they're getting pressed pretty hard already.
Do they take any? Do the trained guys take any damage from getting? Okay.
The way I see it is they're pursuing them, but really haven't come into engagement yet.
Okay.
But we can show them starting to get that way. There's the bombardment. I think the frogmen would come back after their bridge bombing mission. Oops, what did I just click? And then, so is Brio staying on the beach, or is he supposed to be?
Brio's staying on the beach because he's waiting for 2nd Battalion. These guys are told to take Cienfuego, and once they take it, dig in if they succeed.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
First battalion is to continue engaging enemy in Cienfuegos. If Cienfuegos has been taken, they are to dig in.
Alright, the militia is proving resilient. And Cools, are you rolling for up there?
Yep, I just had to roll for all the people in combat right now.
Right, and then we've got tanks and artillery and everything. So this militia is just going to get obliterated. They're pushed back, and then they wanted to. I guess we're waiting on Nero. They wanted to push down this road, so they're going to run into these guys.
And question: Fernandez is arriving at 12 midday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's right. Actually, why don't you... Well, he's just arriving, so I think we're... Let me check Fernandez's channel. What kind of screenshot? Yeah, why don't you go ahead and go to Fernandez and see if he has orders.
Okay, because it looks like Nero has him there at 0600.
Yeah, just... I don't know. Just get his orders. We'll figure it out. Does it look like she's home? Then why are you asking me? No, I'm not going to talk to her. Write a note or send a message with the phone. Putting supply units on there so they have something to defend. I'm gonna go listen to Nero.
I just got everything.
No worries.
About that, there was some humming and hawing about what they wanted to do.
No worries. So Cools,
Okay, cool.
Cools is gonna take Fernandez from now on.
That sounds good.
I'll take Guevara. So you'll just have Castro and Bob.
That sounds good. Yeah. The two of them had a little bit of debating to go on before they want to decide what they want to do. Okay, as far as they wanted to do, they wanted to take these two motorized units and they wanted to go down the main highway and pick up some other motorized units and tank troops along the way and get to towards Santa Clara, basically, and then break north once they hit this region here. So specifically,
go ahead and make those movements since you know what they want, and then I'll.
Yeah, sure. Along this main highway, do they just go their straight movement, or do they get a bonus?
They're motorized?
Yes.
So I'd move them at like. We keep changing it. I mean, 30 miles an hour is.
Hello. All right. Fernandez had a shitload of orders. So,
so
are these? I have a quick
I'll
question.
get on that.
Fernandez
James, I have a
bunch
quick
of
question.
orders for 2 units.
Well, he's sending orders to a lot of the. He's told me this is his whole theater now.
Okay, got it.
So he wanted to have the guns over here in Placitas to bomb the airfield at Santa Clara. If they're in range.
If you want, I can help take orders for the troops down on the southern beach because it's like the area that I'm focusing on here.
Sure.
I don't know if that'll make it easier or harder, but if
Yeah, he didn't give any orders down here to the southern beach.
how about near Cienfuegos?
No. He told me that he wanted the trained infantry over here and the T-34s to drive to Santa Clara.
The T-34s.
They're right here.
Which ones? Those ones I have conflicting orders from Castro with the T-34s.
Cool.
I feel like Castro gets to make the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same thing. They're headed towards Santa Clara, so it doesn't really matter. These units head towards there. Okay, those are all the motorized that would make it this turn, and then some of them get to break north. The T-34s, I gotta calculate their distances. T-34s, do I treat them the same as motorized, or are they slightly slower?
I mean, they would be slower, but we even, I don't know, do 20 miles an hour, so that's still 120 miles.
100. Don't make it. 10, 20, 20, and then, yeah, they'll make it easily to where they want, and then also break north. And then these 2 units are also, but they're foot sloggers, so they're going 3 miles per hour.
So do we need combat for here still?
No, I rolled it already. I'm going to bump it up by 1 because of the artillery being engaged now.
20.
And then are these units doing what they... Do they have any orders besides?
They do not have any direct orders, no.
Okay, I just kind of have them moving towards the enemy, generally speaking.
I got orders from Shea that he just says he wants militia units west of his position to sound off on the radio, basically, to let him know what's going on. I don't know how you want to handle that.
I think that's the guys by the beach over here, right?
I guess.
The militia units, so not them. So the groups in the towns that aren't deployed currently.
Tell them that they sound off over several hours.
Cool. So there, and then he wanted to head north from this position, so a couple of them would get a little bit far off.
So let them know the airfield's being bombed. The invaders are at risk of being hit there.
And then Bob heads out.
All right, I will.
So now it's going to be 1,200.
This one we're getting a little farther. They wanted to basically secure the line going up to the coast. They also wanted their bombers to hit any landing ships that are in this area around the northern invasion. They didn't pinpoint the exact location, but they pointed around this location here, which I think that would work pretty good. Let me ask them. I don't think they said they wanted their fighters here, but I'll just double check.
Just let me know when we send out 12 because I got my orders and screenshots for 12.
I think we're close.
Should I take it that the bombers that were landed in Santa Clara are destroyed?
No, I would maybe say one of them's been destroyed so far. Like, give them a chance to take off and leave again.
All right.
But they're under attack.
They also wanted their jet fighters to be scouting out in this area. So would they take any damage from the bombing raid on the aircraft since they're all out at the time?
Scouting what area?
Around here. Bottom left of the map, south west.
Oh. No, probably not.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Let them know. Let's say that the Nueva.
Well, no, the airfield was hit whilst they were out. I'll let them know that.
Let them know the airfield was hit, so they need a new landing spot.
New landing spot. Got it. Okay. Whoops. And I'm frozen for some reason. Come on, I need to do Fidel. Please, I beg you. And I got timed out. God damn it.
That's annoying.
I don't know what's going on there. It's not like I got spotty internet or something.
Is your computer a bit older or slower?
Nope. Huh. It's brand new, actually. I just upgraded it all.
That's weird.
I generally don't have issues with tabletop sim, so it's a bit weird.
That's strange. Alright.
The Sea Furies are also providing air cover for the bombers. Okay.
Should I update the CIA people at all, or?
Yeah, visit them each turn. Yeah, let them know how the bombing mission went. The rest they'll learn from the radio from the
okay.
All right, I'll stop by them first.
Kafar is going to Havana.
All right, gentlemen. So you proceed to bombard the militia south of you in Remedios, and then attack it with your tanks with infantry support. And the militia essentially dissolve. It's too much for them. They take casualties, and the rest flee southward in terror. So you're able to move through Remedios and then get down the road. Roughly 8 miles. But now you're coming across new militia at Kamwani, blocking the road. There's some militia coming from the north, and then there are troops coming in from behind you. You get reports that your supplies at the beach are under attack from militia forces, and from your support landing ships, you get radio communication that they're under attack from enemy planes, and that the Zapata has been struck and is sinking. Meanwhile, you can hear artillery fire to the west, southwest. Yep. That's it.
Is Pepe here?
Yeah, Pepe's here.
Yeah, did we take any damage breaking through their militia?
You really didn't. They dissolved pretty quickly once you attacked.
From what, like a very less trained unit is about to hit our artillery.
I mean, if we just keep going fast enough, we can break through the militia here. But I mean, we can't turn around and fight them either, right? Like, let me think here.
I'll let you. I'll come back. I got another person now.
Thank you.
All right, Guevara, you're not with. Oh, you're with Castro. Never mind.
Yeah, Shay's supposed to be here.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, you're good.
You still got him then.
Okay, you just wanted to hit me to.
That's my bad.
No, you're good.
Okay. Attacking the Santa Clara airport.
I mean,
Okay, so should we keep pushing?
James, how hard would it be for us to retreat down south now into like the foothills there, and try to reach maybe like Placitas? Would we be able to reach there this turn?
I'm looking for it. To get there are roads. No, that's doable.
All right, yeah, I want to try and get to Placitas and start entrenching. Or I don't know. I mean,
yes,
I don't think we would be able to entrench at the end of that turn, anyways, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah, how much further could we get from Placitas?
Let me look at the roads. Let's see. Well, the main road that you'd want to take is blocked by militia. Would you be going through them, or would you be trying to avoid them?
Like, so they left the south open. I guess they didn't have anything there to redirect north. So I just want to like rush south along any road we can without engaging them. So that way, like, we only have forces on one side of us. Because if we attack to the west, we're going to get attacked from behind. If we attack east, we're going to be attacked from behind. So I just want to regroup here.
Yeah.
You know, and so we're going to be going down to Facetas. If we can keep going and there's nothing to our west, I want to start heading immediately to the northwest towards Santa Clara.
Okay. So going south.
If there is something that we can see pretty quickly, I'd like to start entrenching in Placentas. And trying to rally some of the local people there, to free themselves from oppression. To break their chains because nobody voted for Castro.
Got it. All right, thank you. Guess I can go ahead and do this combat.
Okay. So Diaz realizes that he can't retreat. So he wants to actually go on the offensive and try to take Trinidad, despite the odds being against him and the artillery firing around him.
Sorry, I may have given him the screenshot early. I see that Fernandez has got moved over to Bob's position. So can I locate them and then give them the same screenshot?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I pulled the trigger a little bit too quickly that time.
As well. And then Brio was wondering if he can land the 2nd Battalion at Trinidad and transfer them to Diaz.
Yes.
Yeah, 1 sec.
Okay. So that was what his order was, but
Their coalition location was done at the 1200 turn, correct? Or is that next turn?
We just gave the 1200 update and got orders from 1200 to 1800.
Oh, so we're doing the 1800 screenshots now?
We will be shortly, yeah.
Okay, so that resolution was done on 1200. So during the 1200 turn, would they be together?
Who are we talking about?
Jose and Fernandez.
I don't know. Just put them together on the next turn.
you mean Gutierrez and Fernandez?
Yes.
Bob.
So put them together next turn at the 1800 turn. Okay, sorry.
Pushing back the militia.
And he wanted to entrench. He said he wanted to entrench in Cienfuego.
Oh, and Cienfuegos. Wow. Okay. He's gonna find a whole bunch of angry militia there. And he's not going still?
What do you? Oh no! Oh yeah, sorry. He wanted to move up to his troops.
All right, so the militia's been pushed back, but there's.
I think he wants to bring the supplies with him as well.
Okay. Try to do combat around Santa Clara. Oh no, he's not here. I think they're gonna be in trouble pretty soon.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the Brigadistas.
It's actually funny. They made a lot. I mean, it's a different landing, but they made a lot of the same mistakes by.
Yeah, if I were them, I would have landed everything at the same location.
Yeah.
Or near the same location. I don't know why they split up. That was a really bad call, I think. And blowing this bridge, I'm baffled by why they thought blowing the bridge between their 2 landings was a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it makes no sense.
Like if they had all landed here, it would have been a pretty good move because it would have cut off all these Cuban reinforcements. But yeah, I'm baffled.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to post-game discussion.
I've been taking notes about the post-game discussion. So I remember that last time.
Have you run combat around Santa Clara yet, Cools? Or?
Santa Clara, not for this turn yet. No. Okay. I was moving pieces around.
So I think I hadn't been, but the militia should get a -2 to their rolls on their.
Yeah, I did read that.
Yeah. Are they, I guess, barricading around the airport?
Yep. So Marty's orders were so the CIA and Marty actually ordered the same thing, which is they wanted the bombers that landed in Santa Clara to leave and bomb the troops here, or assist the artillery in the south here.
Let's see how.
And then the infantry were just to hunker down in the airfield as we can. But I can roll for the combat over here at the airport. No one's done that yet over here.
No.
Okay.
I'm reading the radio chatter. It's pretty funny.
Okay. Oh. So Bob ordered a development of this airfield this turn.
Okay.
With his troops. How? Okay. Yep.
They arrived this last turn, or they're?
Yes, at 1200 they arrived.
Oh,
So at the 1200 turn they're attacking.
Okay, so
at noon.
So show them. I mean, envelopment. Shoot. Oh, they got tanks too.
Yep.
Oh, they're in so much trouble. I just show them surrounded.
And they wanted some of the troops to go around to the south as well, to sort of get a hug on here, and then.
God, the
I'm
last stand
assuming.
of paratroopers over here.
They're still getting bombarded too. Let me do.
Jesus Christ, poor bastards!
I know, dude. They're so fucked.
Trying to find a small.
Oh, I see another airfield got hit this turn. Do you want me to report that at the 1800 turn to them?
Yeah. That fires a little bit more.
Okay. Fidel Castro wanted to commandeer all available transport, particularly buses and stuff like that in Havana, to motorize the Shay's troops coming into the capital.
All right, that'll take a while to do, but sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think they got about one turn to, and then they're absolutely gone. They got a turn.
Fernandez specifically wanted to be co-located with Bob, so I'm just moving the CIC so with each of the command tiles next to each other.
So this
I
is
also
huge
had
for
yeah, it's just sad.
Not need this many troops to finish off these paratroopers.
I also had the CIA had a couple orders or questions.
Okay, I got to clarify one thing from them.
So James, the CIA wanted to request or make an ask of the president to permit them to deploy their Skyhawks to get some air superiority in the eastern half of Cuba.
Thought they might. Let's see.
So there's that.
Kennedy agrees. Anything else he doesn't. Which he probably wouldn't. 6 to get lucky. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, 2. No.
No.
Kennedy says the U.S. cannot be involved.
Yeah. And the other one was, how should I deal with reports from their frogmen? Is it just, do the frogmen have radios of their own?
They
or
blew
is
the bridge and they made it back out to sea.
Yeah, that's basically.
Okay. All right. I will let them know that then.
All right. I think everyone's done. Next turn, 1800.
Yep. All right.
Got my clarifications. They are doing another raid on the same flotilla with the jets, or not the jets, with the bombers. How would I word the motorization of Shay's troops? Is it going well? Is it slow?
It's slower than they want. They're getting the buses and bringing them in now, but it's going to take. I mean, they could start moving some troops today, but it's probably going to take until tomorrow to move everything. And the locals aren't happy about.
Okay. So like one unit is motorized.
Yeah, maybe one unit could be.
Okay, cool. They also said they wanted to reach out to their Soviet contacts for political and information, basically. Political capital and information on the incident. Not sure how you want to handle that.
Tell them that the Soviets say that the Americans say they're not involved at all, but that the Soviets believe this is a lie. I don't know what else.
Are we doing
1800
now?
Yeah, 1800.
Yeah, I can give out the screenshots. Everything's resolved.
Yep.
What about the? Did you resolve the airstrike on the boats?
Let them know they got another ship. Yeah.
Another ship. Okay.
And James, are you doing Bob and Fernandez, or do you want me?
I can do Bob and Fernandez's screenshot this turn. Yeah, since they're co-located.
Okay, I'll do the paratroopers again.
Well,
What's left of them?
Let Cools do Bob and Fernandez.
Okay. I'll just do Castro to then.
Yeah.
Can I replace? Can I replace one of the tokens with a motorized token in Havana then?
Sure. Yeah.
Go.
Right, I'm going to get orders.
There's a militia in the ocean here.
That was my placeholder militia. You can just delete it.
Ah, okay.
I got plenty of militia pieces now.
If you got a moment now, is there anything you want me doing differently or feedback and stuff like that? You know, this is my first time doing this, so.
Oh no, you're doing great.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Keep it up. I'm sure we'll do a more comprehensive thing at the end here. Yeah. I'm having fun. This is a good time.
Yeah.
There we go. And
You're fighting the militia. I just don't think anything's gonna really come of it at this point.
All right, gentlemen. Not great news. So you move south unopposed for about 6 miles, and then as you get to a small town named Zuleta, you come across more Cuban army moving to meet you. Your tanks and infantry are engaging with them now, but meanwhile, the rear of your column's coming under attack from additional troops, and your ammo and supplies are starting to run low. You also receive radio reports that your landing ships are under attack again by enemy air fighters, and they're desperately asking for air support. And having, or they'll have to withdraw.
Yeah. What do you think we should do, Pepe? I was thinking that I could try to make the 4th Armored do a fighting kind of withdrawal to just slightly.
Yeah, I remember. I don't think it'll make a difference at this point. I mean, we're trading just barely better, but that doesn't matter when we're outnumbered.
I
we
think
can throw 5th Logistics against the militia.
Yeah,
I'll keep trying to hold off the less trained unit, and you keep trying to hold off the trained unit.
Okay,
and that's all we can do.
Try to draw in and cause as much damage to a trained unit as possible. While minimizing losses. And have 5th Logistics attack that militia from the flank and try to take that out.
Okay. So you're still trying to push south to get to Placetas?
No, we're trying to survive at this point.
Okay.
Yes.
Survive. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And is there any way we can call air support, for our ships?
That's a player who handles the air support. All we can really do is ask and planning.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, radio the Americans and tell them. All right, thank you. I might call this kind of early. It's almost. I mean, it was doomed from the start. This is kind of a Kobayashi Maru scenario, but I don't. There's not too much.
I did get orders from Diaz to have his 3rd Battalion retreat into the mountains and disperse his guerrillas.
Oh, that's funny.
And the 2nd Battalion is about to land, and they want to land at Trinidad here.
I think they'd be
So this
opposed. I mean, they're going to be.
Yeah.
Heck, we might even call it after this turn. The paratroopers are caught. These guys are.
Yeah, the paratroopers are fucked. And then Brio wants to conduct a fighting retreat back to the LZ at Gavianes.
Yeah, can anyone get out? Brio's fighting retreat. So
Brio wants to pull back to Gavianes. 2nd Battalion's landing at Trinidad, and 3rd Battalion is supposed to try to withdraw into the mountains and disperse his guerrillas.
I don't think they'd be able to land at Trinidad.
Maybe against the militia. Maybe. I guess there's train guys here
no,
too.
These ships have 50.
The ships have 50 cows in the video. Yeah, it looked like they hosed the militia in the video.
Okay, we'll say they can. Yeah, okay. So he's coming back.
Yeah, pulling back. He said conduct an organized fighting withdrawal back to the beachhead with him and the supplies behind the troops.
Alright, because this next turn's the... I just forgot it's the 18th.
So the Cubans want to activate their torpedo boats.
Where?
They want to hit the same area they've been hitting with bombers.
The one ship that hasn't been sunk is fleeing.
Yeah.
So they're not
it's going to be inconsequential, so nothing is going to happen. Where did their Seahawks go? Can't seem to find them.
They land somewhere.
Because the Seahawks, they said they want the Seahawks to run intercept mission around here. So I just need to find those Seahawks. They also want to activate some of the militia on the western side of the island, specifically in this area. I'll keep looking for those Seahawks. Where are those feckin' Seahawks? God damn it.
I'm looking everywhere and I don't see them.
Yeah.
Maybe
Did they get deleted by mistake?
They defected
Make new ones, or did we lose
to
the
Florida.
fighter token?
Oh, I found them. They're here for some reason.
Oh. Anyway, they're gonna be up there for an intercept mission. And I'll erase that. And then how do you want to do the raising the militia in this area on the left?
I'm about to call the game here, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
There's not much.
Jesus Christ. Were the Americans supposed to have a chance?
No, not really.
It's more of a role play opportunity.
It was more of can they do better than historical, which technically they got a lot further inland, so they did do better.
Yeah, I guess.
But they made a lot of the same mistakes, so.
Hey, not all Kriegspiels you're supposed to win.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing, like
especially for historical ones where it's like
yeah.
They were,
I think that's a perfectly fine thing. I think people get
from the start.
Yeah, I think people get into the mindset too much and should treat this like they're actually on the boots on the in the minds of the commanders on the ground and act accordingly. And you're sometimes you're set up to fail.
you were put in a doomed situation and had to make the best of it.
Yeah. Wow, did the paratroopers surrender?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing the 5th and 4th are about to do the same.
And the 3rd's becoming mountain gorillas, and 2nd just barely landed, and 1st is retreating.
See, if I was given that OOB, because historically that was their objective, is to break inland and then, if not, melt into the force, and ultimately that would be a win for the rebels, is that they could basically turn this into a protracted, long Civil War sort of scenario.
I feel like landing and dispersing in these mountains here would be the way to go.
Yeah, that would have been perfect, and that's what they should have gone from the start, in my opinion, which I think they partly tried to do.
They're doing, so the 3rd and the 1st and 2nd would at least. They could hold the mountains.
Yeah, and ultimately, in my mind, that would be a win for the rebels, is deploying a well-armed 1,500 man group in to protract and this sort of scenario, and then in the future it could provide an opportunity for, in quotes, justified American intervention.
Mm-hmm. They conduct a guerrilla campaign, which leads to reprisals, which leads to outrage, and then the U.S. can say, "Oh, the evil Cuban government is being murderous commies," and then justify an intervention.
Assuming that they could get past this whole Soviet thing.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the Soviets, who knows, but like a lot of bluffing and playing chicken, and just like, if you do anything, we're gonna nuke. But like, I don't know. I don't think so. But good thing we didn't find out.
Yeah, I live too close to the American border for to be comfortable.
Even if like a full nuclear exchange in the Cold War would not be. It's better to be close than to be far away at that point, because it's just like, how do you die from incineration, or do you die from freezing temperatures and radiation poisoning and collapsing like.
Apparently, I don't know if this is entirely true. Obviously, it wouldn't be true at this point, but later on in the Cold War, that sort of nuclear winter stuff became a non-issue based on developments of nuclear bombs, because a lot of them explode a lot higher off the ground, thus they don't create fallout.
Specifically designed to just like release as much radioactive dust.
Yeah, wasn't that earlier in the war though? In the Cold War?
That's a good question.
I mean, like way later. I'm talking like the 80s.
I thought in the 80s they had some like gnarly doomsday weapons.
Yeah. They might. Fucking wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, they can make bombs dirty
Salted
now
bomb.
or clean.
Yeah.
To where their radiation's actually not terrible. But the scarier thing is when they detonate it in the high atmosphere, and then it's like an EMP burst that's thousands of miles wide.
Yeah, I've heard of that, but how would that actually like pan out?
Oh,
I wonder.
It would be absolutely devastating.
Yeah.
It would. I mean, because it wouldn't just turn off your power; it would make all electronic devices that aren't hardened not work
Fries
anymore.
them, right?
It would fry them.
Yeah, like permanently fry them.
So
yeah.
like if there's a really good book series called 1 Second After, which talks about that, and basically like society would collapse because no computers work anywhere, cars don't work anymore, phones don't work. So
pre-industrial revolution, but with the modern population and infrastructure, so it would just be catastrophic, and you'd have so many deaths from the collapse of supply lines and systems.
You could start slowly replacing things, though. It's
I mean,
not like
you have to, but
Yeah.
how much would you lose before then? How many people would starve to death? How much of
Oh,
society
yeah.
would collapse from all the protests and all the desperate people, like
hospitals,
water?
just completely back to the
Bad.
50s, right?
And that's also just implying that they did the EMP blast and didn't also nuke all the cities and have like
Yeah.
a nuclear exchange. So apparently,
Because if manufacturing survived, theoretically, you could slowly start getting things back up and running.
how much of manufacturing is based around computer chips, though? I mean, obviously now it's more than it was then, but like how much of it?
Yeah, but that's the first thing that would people would take a step back and start producing some older shit. So it'd take a long ass time. But as long as manufacturing,
decades, like a lot of the
yeah,
military's
decades.
done, so like at least the
Generation.
militaries would somewhat keep a semblance of control, but
Yeah.
but like it would,
Hey, sorry it took me so long.
Good.
The
So-
high cobalt 60. Sorry. Go ahead. It's not
No,
important.
go ahead.
I
No,
was just gonna say
but so
go ahead.
Fernandez and Bob moved east. They encircled. They left these four troops here to encircle and take out the paratroopers. Fernandez ordered the 76 millimeter to bomb the troops here near the encircled people here, or to bombard them.
Are the 76 millimeter in range though? I thought they had 9-inch range.
move a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Look through all my notes here. The CIA, Wilkins is asking the president again to employ Skyhawks, stating that we've already been implicated. There's no reason to stop now. I don't know how convincing that'll be. Or re-roll for that or whatever, but just let that be known. And also, the other CIA guy, Burke wants the B-26 bombers the enemy troops in this area. He said near plus us.
Okay.
I believe that's all the orders I got. Yeah, paratroopers just said to hold and fight to the last, which they have.
We go get one that's a double A. I can't move anything. All right. There's some stuff that can be done in the south, but it's basically game over already.
Yeah, I mean, if these guys took the beachhead, these guys get the order to disperse as well. I feel like at least these 3 battalions can wage guerrilla war.
Yeah, like about 500 men.
That's better than.
That's better than we did in real life.
Yeah.
Will you guys? Is this a new one? Yeah, that's fine. Sorry. See if this battery works.
Is this? Are we doing 100?
No, that's better. Okay, bring everyone to the lobby. It's over.
You're a bit quiet, James.
Can you hear me now? Better?
Yeah. Much better. Much better.
Okay, to the lobby.
Start dragging people up.
Yep, bring them.
Just stuck open. Okay, there it goes.
Hello.
All right, hello everyone.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome. All right, so thanks everyone for a good game. So what we're gonna do is per normal, the umpires are gonna go over what happened at a high level, including feedback and thoughts, and then we'll hear from all the players, and then go from there and have a fun discussion. So first of all, let me preface this was a difficult, basically no-win scenario for the U.S. and rebels, as it was historically. The assumption that the people would rise up and join the rebels as they arrived was over assumed, and the lack of air support was absolutely killer historically, as it was here. So I hope that team doesn't feel bad. They did do better than historical, which we'll talk about, so that's often the goal. Although I think there's some learnings that can be taken, so let me share my screen. So the Americans, I'm just going to call it Americans, they sent a false flotilla here early on to distract, which worked. And then they bombed the airfields, hoping, as they did historically, that it would take out the Cuban Air Force, but that didn't work out. And then they landed at 3 different points, which was interesting to me. And I think a mistake, and we'll get into that. So they landed here, here, and then here. And so the 3 landing points, very dispersed, especially on the other side of the island. I think that was a mistake, as you weren't able to support each other. Also, the landing points were more closer to civilization and major cities. I mean, if you look at the historical Bay of Pigs landing point, there's no major cities close by, and there's these roads here which are easy choke points through, like, you can't go off road here, so they could hold choke points here and here, which was kind of their plan, although it didn't work out there either. But they landed here and here, and then we're trying to hold off troops as they came in, and they were able to last for at least 3 days because these were such good choke points, although they didn't get much further than that. Here they were able to get further, but they were just surrounded everywhere because it's more concentrated, a lot more towns. So there's militia forming up everywhere, and then the Cubans had done a good job putting they had trained and less trained units in the vicinity that were able to slow down, and so. So 1 battalion landed here. It immediately pushed northwest, running into militia. They got outside Cienfuegos, but couldn't push further. Another battalion got outside Trinidad, but were pushed back by a trained Cuban battalion. And then the frogmen, this is one question I want answered later on. The frogmen were ordered to blow the bridge between the two, so they couldn't even move to support each other, and I don't understand that, so that's a question.
Me neither.
At the very end, the 2nd Battalion's landing here at Trinidad. Diaz has taken his 3rd Battalion up into the mountains. They're going to fight on as guerrilla fighters. Brillo's falling back. I don't know if he'll join Diaz or not, or get pulled off by the transport. He'd probably be able to get to escape and pull off, and maybe the 2nd would too, depending on how that goes. But the paratroopers landed at Santa Clara. They're able to seize the airport quickly, but pretty quickly got attacked by militia, and then all the tanks and motorized troops came and just surrounded them. And unfortunately, Pipo and Pepe couldn't get to them. They were bogged down trying to get, how many miles is that? 22 miles inland, to join them and support them. So they just got surrounded. And then here at the end, the tanks and the artillery and the other are just getting surrounded as well, cut off from supplies. Their supply ships or transport ships have been shot down by Cuban Air Force, and then the Blagars retreating, unable to stick around. So much like the historical battle, ultimately the invasion failed, although it did get further inland, and there are at least have some troops able to stick around in the mountains and fight on as guerrillas. So we'll leave that open to interpretation what that means long term. The Cubans, had the advantage with lots of numbers and did a good job responding. I think. I My advice for the American team is they should have wherever they landed, they should have just landed everyone together, concentrated. Dispersed was, I think, a big mistake in my opinion, and maybe landing somewhere not so close to civilization. I don't know where would be better, um, but landing next to these big cities and trying to target three big cities at once, I think, just invited defeat in detail. So, but good game overall. It was fun to do. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it, and we'll hear from the other umpires now, and then all the players. So, umpire Caustics.
So yeah, the very first thing I was baffled by was that the frogmen were gonna blow the bridge between Diaz and Brio's landing, because it seems like you want to have your two landings able to support each other here. Honestly, if I were you guys, I would have had all three of the landings happen at Gavienes, and then had the frogmen blow this bridge, which would have been a good move and cut off all these Cuban reinforcements. So that was something I was pretty shocked by. I was also kind of shocked by, it wasn't really my theater, but the northern landing not securing the LZ and moving out with all their troops, leaving the beach cut off with enemy troops behind them. And then landing the bombers at the airfield that was like under attack was also a poor choice in my opinion. But I think that given the circumstances, Diaz and Brio, who I was dealing with, did a decent job of keeping their guys alive. And if anybody had a win on the Brigadista side, it was Diaz getting one of his units to actually disperse his guerrillas in the mountains. And I feel like these two battalions could have as well, which meant you would have had a guerrilla force in Pico de San Juan, which is kind of what the backup plan was, and maybe is even kind of a little bit of a win for the Brigadistas. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
All right, thank you. Umpire Cools.
Yeah. So I was mostly, at least at the beginning, in charge of the paratroopers, and Fernandez kind of jumped around near the end there as needed to receive orders and reports, give reports to others. Overall, I feel really bad for the paratroopers. Unfortunately, I think the beginning looked very favorable, but as soon as the response from the revolutionaries, the Revolution Army, eventually made it down this like main highway that connects to Havana to Santa Clara. It just did not turn out for him, which is pretty obvious. Besides that, I hope everyone had a good time. I mean, this is my second time umpiring, which I still enjoyed. Enjoyed doing, enjoyed talking with y'all, as limited as it was. And tactically, I don't really have much advice. I thought it was still, some of the tactics employed were novel, I guess. I mean that in like a shady way. Just, I don't really have much to add to that. So that's my bit.
Umpire Nero.
Hey, yeah. So I did mainly at the start most of the Cuba side, and then towards the end mainly just at Castro. And I thought he did great in terms of realizing that the first flotilla that was near Havana was a decoy, and then funneling troops quickly and efficiently exactly where they were needed. To me, the biggest death nail, not for the Cubans, not the Cubans, the resistance forces of the rebels, was actually the main highway here. The main highway down the entire length of Cuba allowed a significant amount of motorized tanks and artillery to get to where the landings were very quickly. And that above all else, I think, really set it in for the Americans. To me, I think it's fine to do games in which one side is not meant to win. I think those games can be quite fun, especially historical scenarios like this. And ultimately, being in the perspective of a person on the ground in terms of switching your objectives to what is best or what is next ideal, whether it be getting out of dodge or belting into the jungle, is a perfectly fine thing to have as part of the game. Overall, very fun. This is my first time umpiring, so yeah.
Thank you for umpiring. You did a good job. All right, I'm just going to go. Actually, let's hear from the CICs first, and then we'll hear from all the players. So, on the Fidel Castro, we'll start with you.
I'm actually going to defer to the resistance leader first. I want to hear his thoughts, and then I'll give my commentary.
No, I insist, please.
Well, let me ask this: what intelligence did the resistance have?
Very little. I actually didn't even know like what forces I had until like a few minutes before. So I was operating off some false assumptions, but I mean that's fine. It still was like hopeless for sure from the beginning to an extent.
You had no assistance in U2 spy footage.
No, we knew your size of forces, but I had no idea where you were or what distribution
Well, we did tell
at
him
all.
your plane locations at the start.
Oh, we didn't know. Yeah, we didn't know where your airfields were, and we were able to pinpoint them. But I mean, historically, that also was the case, and it had about the same effect. That was very historical.
Okay. So there was a degree of that then, because that was our thoughts halfway through the game. But I think this turned out pretty darn good. Our plan was to have almost 4 sections of the island defended. So no matter where you guys landed, you would at least run into some, at least untrained forces, because we were afraid of initial bombardment of the landing zones. And I think we succeeded in doing that pretty good. I think you guys landed where we had troops stationed, which I hope threw you off a little bit. And because of that highway, I agree with Nero. That was definitely a factor of our plan, that no matter where you guys landed, we could use that highway or one of the roads to reposition and mutually support one another. I think we functioned very well as a team on this one, with moving troops around, getting everyone where they needed to go. Leaning a little bit more into the role-playing aspect of this game too. This was definitely one of my top games, I will say, to play in. So thanks for umpiring, guys.
Thank you.
All right, Colonel Hawkins.
Yeah. I mean, I guess right off, dovetail off of that. Like, yeah. As far as this scenario, this is also ideal for me. I think it's cool the like asymmetric or asymmetry of it. This is definitely my period too. It's really interesting. We basically, I was operating off of like kind of as I said, like I did not have very much intel, and leading into it, I kind of didn't know exactly how to plan. But yeah, I can answer the bridge thing too. I guess this is there's like a historical element too, kind of like some role play. I said to rig the bridges to explode. I did not order them detonated. The idea was to use them to retreat and then blow them, not just immediately blow them up. So I mean, yeah, that kind of miscommunication happens, I guess. So we'll just chalk it up to that. And we were going to pull back out of Cienfuegos into Trinidad and just like fall back there. I didn't have a good idea of like how many maneuver units each individual battalion would have. I thought they would be able to cover like a bit more surface area. So if I had known that, I probably would have kept them a little bit more together. But I mean, that's fine. And then as far as the plan is concerned, yeah, we wanted Pico de San Juan to be kind of like an insurgency opportunity for them to like disperse the guerrillas, and that happened. If you check the chat, Pepe was like insisting that we fall back to that plan. Now seeing his situation, I understand why, because it was absolutely hopeless. And yeah, I was hoping that you guys would be more focused around Havana, and we would be able to kind of like wall you off and then pull back towards Trinidad. But no, you guys either completely called our plan or had enough foreknowledge to just kind of like react very easily based on where you were garrisoned. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right, let's hear from all the players. So Admiral Burke.
Oh yeah, so I was Admiral Arleigh Burke in this game. Well, I wish I have more to report. Like, to be honest with you, I think my feedback is that I I could have just been what's his name? Our commander in chief, Hawkins, because I think I talked to an umpire a grand total of 3 times that game and only sent 2 bomber missions that really mattered. So I think he could have just had my point and click bombers and I could have been something else. But otherwise, as far as the battle is concerned, I think we kind of suffered from not really knowing our order of battle per se until like the last minute, because I think the plan was made under the assumption that we would have more units to kind of throw around piddly paddly to like guard LZs and yada yada. But when things happened, we just kind of did the plan with what we had, even if it was very little. And ultimately, the plan was just to do better than historical, and we did do that. So, yay! Thank you. It was really fun.
Thank you, Alejandro Marti.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was the paratroopers, so I kind of expected to be thrown into hot water immediately. And so kind of I was relieved to find an empty LZ and just take that airfield. And for a little while, I thought I would have it easy just fighting those militia. And so I reported the airfield safe. And then as soon as the bombers came and landed there, a whole bunch of motorized enemies started appearing, and I started getting bombarded. So I uh, called that safe a little too early, but it was a fun paratrooper experience. Uh, Getting cut off behind, in the extreme reaches of our front and waiting for the cavalry who never came. And it was fun. I liked the element of being able to talk in the planning channel, especially as kind of like the side who was set up to fight this unwinnable scenario. It kind of added to that tension and atmosphere to have the constant reports coming in of everyone getting outnumbered and surrounded. So that was an interesting element that isn't in a lot of games, that I enjoyed.
Good. All right. Thank you. Charles Potato, you weren't a player, right? You're just here. I think it's just here. All right. Che Guevara.
Hey guys, I was located mostly on the western part of Cuba, like right to the west of Havana. I want to give first and foremost congratulations and sympathies to Team One, because that now seeing like what you guys had, that is a pretty difficult situation, and congratulations, because you guys did better than the historical, and I think that is a huge win in this one. Um, I'd love to hear. I initially thought that you guys might go to Trinidad, because I know that in the historical example, they were the rebels, or they wanted to go to Trinidad just because there were thought to be a lot of sympathizers against Fidel, and so I had kind of suggested in the planning, I wanted us to go like north to south in where we were positioned on the island, because when we were looking at these roads, I knew that we could get like east to west like fairly quickly. But I did have a concern that you guys were going to kind of get lodged in between these mountains near Trinidad, and I was going to be like, oh man, that's going to be a pain in the butt to get you out. And uh, just I think we kind of got lucky. We got extremely lucky with how we were able to just send out bombers and fighters with unity. We initially like put them here because I was like, well, that's the most extremely far away airport or airfield, and we put them on this island to the south. Then, like I doubted you guys were going to invade that, and so like we just got really lucky, and I had a lot of fun. So congratulations again to the Americans.
Okay, thank you. Bob Amajeras.
Yeah, so I had a lot of fun this game. Before you say anything, I want to express my gratitude to the umpires. Very fun game, and also my team. I have to say this was definitely one of the better run uh, games in sort of my team in getting together in terms of getting together a plan. Like we all met together for like an hour or two yesterday discussing a lot of things. Like um, good job, Fidel. You brought up a very great plan, and also great job, Che, because you were the one who called. What if they land in the east? And sure enough, they landed in the east. But yeah, we had a very solid plan. I really enjoyed it. I was the commander of the motorized and the tanks. So I had fun wandering down that road and overwhelming the paratroopers, and then overwhelming the next invasion. And yeah, I'd say it was a well done game. My only comment, um, while I understand the point in that I'm a motorized tank going along a road, so I'm going fast, I was a bit surprised at just how fast I went. Like in the span of one term, I went from Havana all the way to Esperanza, right next to Santa Clara. So it just felt a bit too fast, and for us Cubans to be able to redeploy like that,
I mean,
it's just like
it's a 6-hour
I don't
turn, and
know.
that's 130 miles.
I mean, I guess, but besides that, I thought it was a very fun game. I thought it was very well done. And yeah.
All right. Thank you. Francisco Brio.
Yep. So I landed and everything went decently according to plan. I went to Cienfuegos and I found one unit of militia, which was fine. So I just decided to fight that one unit of militia. And then a couple of turns later, 6 units of militia appeared out of nowhere. So I quickly made myself scarce. Then yep, I went back to the landing zone and I was planning to head into the mountains to assist in the guerrilla movement or whatever. But that didn't happen because the game ended. I would have done that next turn.
All right. Fernandez.
So I first want to say thanks to all the umpires. It was a real fun game. This game kind of sits a little close to me since I am a second or first generation Cuban American. So my family fled from Cuba, from the Castro regime and all that stuff. So this was a kind of little close to home with my situation. But I found it very interesting, the story and the game. I was in charge of units that were mostly surrounding Santa Clara and in the south. So most of the units that were engaged were kind of under my command. And I literally got to Santa Clara when I was ordered to, right when the paratroopers dropped. So I was able to react very quickly to um, their landing and hold them off until reinforcements were able to come. And yeah, it was a lot of fun and I enjoyed playing it. It was a very different type of game since I'm mostly used to playing the Napoleonic and the Civil War type games. So it was a different feeling. It was fun. I had a good time.
Thank you. Diaz.
Hey, had a lot of fun. This was my first voice game. It was great. It's kind of looking at the rest of the map now, kind of cute. The situation I'm in, just this nice, cute little contained thing, and not like completely surrounded. I was supposed to go into Trinidad, and then it was obvious I had to retreat, and I was just kind of stuck on that road there. I fought in the mountains, and that's what happened to me.
All right.
I had fun.
Pepe.
So first, one of the umpires mentioned not staying behind at the LZ to secure it, and I have a lot of things to say about that. I think had we stayed at the beachhead, we'd be in the exact same situation as we are now, just at the beach, no better than the original invasion was, because we never were able to stop them from bombing our supply ships anyways. So we wouldn't be able to get supplies and we would still have the exact same amount of like Cuban forces to be fighting. The point was, I had asked James about how to get supplies, and he had mentioned that you could get them through the airports too. And since my only job was to help relieve the paratroopers and secure Santa Clara, um, we kind of had to make the executive decision that we just had to kind of wing it and kind of blitz for it. Because even if I had left something behind, I don't see what it could have done. I only had 3 companies, to play with. Less than 500 men, like 4 light tanks in total. Um, so I think whatever I had left behind would just be, shark food. Anyways, um, I do think that the Cubans could have reacted faster when the writing was very clearly on the wall at a certain point, um, and tried to get into the hills faster with more forces. Um, yeah, I think it was a kind of a Kobayashi Maru situation. I don't think there was any winning move for the Cubans, so to speak. But
You mean the resistance?
I mean, yeah, we're Cubans, right? We're still Cubans.
Exiles.
Yes, sorry,
Cuban
yeah.
exiles.
Yeah, Cuban exile. Yeah. Yeah, it was a very difficult game to plan for too. Um, I do agree with the criticism that we should have had more concentrated landings, and I think I made that exact same observation once we had like hindsight to work with. Um, but yeah, I mean, my only one real complaint would be that there were way too many Cuban players. I know that like each player basically had a single company that they were in command of, and I don't think it was very fun for the people that I was in charge of because we were all co-located the entire game. So I mean, if I told them to do something, that was kind of basically their order. So it was just kind of me giving orders for the 3 of us, and they were just kind of sitting there with me for the entire game. And because there were constant communications in our planning channel, I don't know. It kind of felt like I2 was also kind of a redundant piece of the puzzle, so to speak. Because nominally I was in charge of the Cuban forces, but because the CIC is also able to directly talk to them, it was kind of more just the CIC gave orders to everybody, and I was kind of just another single company to kind of do stuff. But yeah, other than that, thank you for running things, James. It was a unique game, and I enjoyed that kind of unique aspect to it.
Yeah. No, those are very fair criticisms. I think it's been a while since I've restricted player counts because it hasn't been an issue, but this was one where we had more players than probably actual
Pieces.
spots, like spots that warranted it. Like you could have had probably 2 or 3 players per side, and it would have been a fine game. So that's learning for me. All right, that's everyone. I'm gonna stop the recording. Everyone else, you're welcome to hang out and keep talking about it. And